Oi boys, welcome to another video on the channel. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't recap the game that was the final between Australia and Samoa. Now, first and foremost, congratulations to the, once again, world champions Australia, the #1 team in the world. And this will probably sound corny, but also congrats to Samoa to making it this far in the comp. It truly is a massive accomplishment to make it to the final, not only getting there, but in the fashion they did, down on troops, seemingly losing a player every week it felt like, and they even suffered another injury in this game. I've got a lot of time, a lot of love, and a lot of respect for that Toa Samoa team that shook up the tournament this year. Now, onto the game. So heading into this match, I said that if Samoa were to win, they would have to play the perfect game. They'd need to play offbeat. We saw that. So many offloads. But more importantly, their discipline needed to be OP, on point. And they'd essentially need their key players, their spine in particular, to have near perfect games themselves, or performances themselves. Unfortunately for Toa, that wasn't the case, as a couple of crucial errors from both playmakers was all Australia needed to break the arm wrestle, take the lead, and ultimately hold it for the remainder of the match. As cliche as it is, and it's true, you just can't afford to make errors against a top tier side like Australia, the top tier, as they would almost always punish you for it. But yeah, the catalyst to the first try being scored was a missed kick from Jerome Luai, and the transition from catching it on the full from Jackie Whiten to gassing it to the other end of the field. They were seemingly choked from there. Samoa did have their moments, little bursts or momentum shifts that gave them a few looks at the line, but Australia's defense was just too classy. And not for nothing, Samoa's goal line or try line defense was just as impressive. When I talk about the difference in class between the two, it's not always about how slick said classier side's offense looks. It's moments like the effort displayed when Australia were down a man and they're successfully defending their line. They coughed the ball up like 2 or 3 times and gave Samoa those opportunities to potentially convert them into points, but yeah, the Australian defense was just too good. It was actually a really good game, competitive for the most part. Even when they were down, what was it, like 14-0? You got the sense that all they needed to shift momentum would be a little cheeky 6-pointer, but like I said, the Australian defense, they were just too solid. As for players that stood out to me, for Samoa, first, the players that we said to watch heading into the game, like the outer statesmen in Junior Paulo and Josh Papali'i, they had really good games. Even our boy to watch since he's been starting for Toa Samoa, Royce Hunt had another solid performance himself. And the other lad we're focusing on heading into the match, Jerome Luai, got off to a bit of a shaky start, but most of Samoa's success started with him. And I thought, besides those few hiccups, he was a clear standout for Toa Samoa, as was the young gun. We talk about him every single time he played for Samoa, Joseph Sua'ali'i. The hype for this young talent heading into the tournament was high. It kind of dwindled after that first loss. But I tell you what, ever since then, he's delivered for me on the expectation and the hype. Still fairly green in the fullback position, you know, when it comes to decision making and pass selection, but he has nothing but time. And I have no doubts that he'll reach the pinnacles he's projected to. That's if he chooses to stay in rugby league. If you're wondering what I'm referring to, I've got other opinion pieces on Joey Sua'ali'i and where I think his future lies. But yeah, on to Australia. Still a little dicey when it comes to playing as a unit, but like I said, when you have a team stacked of genuine game breakers, you can get away with being clunky. It all comes back to that class. But yeah, for me, couple standouts. Harry Grant off the bench in the first half was a turning point in my opinion. We're talking about how Samoa needed to play offbeat, if you will, and Harry Grant is an offbeat top player himself. It's just a different style of offbeat. A couple other players that deserve recognition now from me in particular, because I was questioning their selection, and that is Liam Martin. Man, he's had a hectic tournament. And also Regan Campbell-Gillard. Big props to both those players. I also thought Nathan Cleary looked good. Bit of a shaky start like his Penrith halves partner in Jerome Luai, but as the game progressed, he adapted and somewhat put on a clinic, as did the Kangaroo skipper James Tedesco, who was also crowned man of the match. Everyone mentioned had above average performances in my opinion. A few other notable mentions like Latrell Mitchell, Jackie Whiten, I mean the whole back five. During the struggle battle of the middles, the Australian back five did a great job helping them out, causing all sorts of problems for the Samoan pack. The Fox comes to mind when he zoomed straight through the ruck, set up Teddy for was it the first or second try of the match? Can't quite remember, but overall it was a great performance from Australia. And again, Toa Samoa, nothing to be ashamed about. The future looks bright for Toa Samoa. If there's a Pacific Island power rankings, where it stands for me at the moment, actually we might save that topic for an actual video. But yeah, again, nothing to hang your heads about, Samoa. You may not have gotten the victory, but your supporters are proud regardless. And again, congratulations to the current kings of the rugby league world, the Australian Kangaroos. As always, if you enjoyed that and would like to see more rugby league related content or more content in general, be sure to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to straight that like button. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you.
See,
Later.
I was born and raised in Oz, but I got that shit.